Welcome viewers to the final call, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most powerful pillars of our battle with Christianity and our battle with self. Today we are talking about fasting. Now there are many applications of fasting and there are many different types of fast, but as a doctor and as a person who has done fasting, I want to talk about it on a slightly different level, medical as well as, so that you understand that the demons don't like when you fast. And fasting is a power that you wield if you understand how to wield it. And that is what I want to teach you today, how to wield the sword of fasting. Now, Christ has mandated that fasting is part of our walk. Prayer and fasting are the tools that he gives us in which to overcome ourselves. Now, fasting is against self, but it also helps you to conquer addiction, emotional imbalances, sickness in the body. It helps to break down tumors. It helps to clear the lymphatic system. It helps to alleviate toxicity in the body, and also it allows the organs to rest. Now, we look at fasting as an application or an abstinence of no food. All right, so you can be fasting with no food, fasting with just water, or fasting with neither. Now, if you understand the body's need of food and the body's need of rest from eating, then you'll also understand the importance of why you must fast. And also, it is the arrow. Fasting is the knife, the arrow that enters into the spirit of appetite. Now you have to understand that demons possess the body. Spirits possess the body. But when you fast, you starve them. When you fast, you make them leave because there's no food. You understand me? But the most powerful thing about fasting is that the Spirit of God gets stronger the more you fast. So let me explain what fasting is. When you fast, let me do it in a way that you'll understand it. You have to understand that when you fast, you have biochemical changes in the body which can be harmful if you don't understand what you are doing. We have an illness or an imbalance called hypoglycemia, which means that when you don't eat any food and you don't get sugars in the body, then the pancreas begins to imbalance because there's no sugar. So it begins to think, where am I going to get sugar from? So the liver can break down glycogen inside itself to make energy for the body. But you see, the body is used to eating. It wants to eat. So when there's no food, you will see that the first thing that happens is that your stomach begins to go, and you can hear it moving around. There's no food in there. And then you'll find that your mood begins to change. You begin to get irritable because you want to eat, you are hungry. When you still don't eat and that irritability doesn't, get fed, then an actual emotion will take over, which is usually anger. So when people have hypoglycemia and they don't get any food and the blood sugar drops, they become irritable, they become aggressive, and they can actually harm someone in that state because the brain doesn't get the sugar that it needs to function, the energy that it needs. Now, how are you supposed to fast to have the best application? Now, this is what I teach my students. Don't go and do a long fast at first. If you're not accustomed to fasting, then you will do maybe from 6 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the morning. So just do 3 hours. and watch the reaction. If you don't have any hypoglycemic reactions, then you can do from 6 until 12. Now, normally, most people, if they don't have food for 4 hours, they will have a hypoglycemic reaction. Now, one of the things to help you with diabetes is actually fasting. When you learn to fast, the body learns to balance itself and it learns to realign itself. And when you have mastered fasting, you will see that your hypoglycemia is gone. It goes. Because your body gets accustomed to long hours with no food. And most times, even though the blood sugar is falling, the spirit shuts down the body. The desires of the flesh are cut off. And it is the spirit that is working. So, when you are fasting, I want you to get a pen and paper and make a diary for yourself of how you feel. The first time you fast, how do you feel? You will get very little reaction if you fast with water, because you're not really starving the body of everything. The real fasting to me is when you are fasting with neither food nor water, total abstinence. That is when the body begins to really, really react. And when you fast from 6 till 12, you might feel slightly dizzy, you might feel slightly irritable and maybe hot in your body because it's a dehydration. You have to then deal with not giving into that feeling. So if you find that your body is really, really reacting, then you may have to stop and be doing it gradually. But if you see that you're able to make from 6 till 12 and you're able to control the hypoglycemic reactions, then keep doing that 6 till 12 for a period of time until there is no reaction at all. You don't feel anything. It might take you a month. It might take you 2 months. Try to fast at least once a week as a standard practice. All right. And then when you have mastered that, then we get to from 6 a.m. in the morning to 3 a.m. in the afternoon, which is like 9 hours with no food. If you can master that and you don't get a hypoglycemic reaction, then you will go from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., which is 12 hours. And then you watch your hypoglycemic reaction. Maybe you might get a throbbing headache, bash, bash, bash. All right? If your head is bashing you the first time, then watch what you are doing. You might get blurred vision. You might feel dizzy. Keep doing it until those symptoms, you have mastered them. It's a case of mastering. You pray and you sing and you read the word of God, and you will see that the symptoms will gradually wear off. When you have mastered that, you will go from 6 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. That means you've done 15 hours. You learn to master that section. And then you finally get to 6 till 6, which is 24 hours, neither food nor water. I am not talking about fast for prayer here. I'm talking about fast to overcome. This is what we're dealing with today. How to fast to overcome demonic infiltration, appetite, like the spirit of gluttony and lust. These things are very much applicated by fasting. When you have a desire of lust, it grows stronger the more you feed it. And it gets weaker the more you fast and fill that time with prayer, reading the word and warfaring. When you have learned to do 18 hours, so you've gone from 6 a.m., you've got to 6 a.m. the following morning and then till 12 o'clock the next day, that is where you begin to see demons speaking.